Imagine this. You grab a can from your pantry, pop it open, and think you're saving time with a quick and easy meal. But hidden inside that shiny metal container could be more than just food. Lurking there are toxic linings, mountains of salt, and even silent contamination risks. And for older adults, those hidden dangers can strike hard, damaging the heart, straining the kidneys, and even clouding memory. Now, pause for a second. What if your everyday quick meal staple is not helping you, but instead silently undermining your well-being? In this video, we are going to expose 7 canned items you should think twice about keeping in your kitchen. And yes, I will also show you 2 canned foods that are actually safe, even beneficial, when chosen wisely. Stay with me, because our very first culprit might bring back childhood memories, yet it is more peril than pleasure. Let's be honest. When you crack open a can of Vienna sausages, that metallic scent and jelly-like texture might bring back memories of childhood snacks or camping trips. But for anyone over 50, this so-called comfort food is more of a health trap than a treat. Here is why. A single can of these tiny sausages packs around 800 to 1,200 milligrams of sodium. That is nearly half of the daily limit recommended by the American Heart Association. If you are already on blood pressure medication, this surge of salt can work against your treatment, spiking blood pressure and stressing your heart. Some low-sodium versions are not safer either. They often swap sodium for potassium salts, and according to the National Kidney Foundation, that can trigger dangerous heart rhythm problems in older adults with kidney issues. And there is more. Faulty seals in canned meat have been linked to botulism, a rare but deadly foodborne illness. In fact, a 2023 recall involved Vienna sausages due to contamination risks. Add to that the uncertainties around BPA or bisphenol linings, which Europe is phasing out while the FDA lags behind, and the picture becomes even less appetizing. Not to mention nitrites used for preservation, which the World Health Organization classifies as potential carcinogens. So, what is the safer choice? Fresh eggs or beans give you protein without this toxic package. Shocked by this? Give a thumbs up if you're already rethinking your pantry. And brace yourself, because our next item is a seafood staple that is swimming in toxins. Picture this. You peel back the lid of a tuna can, and the briny splash with that familiar fishy aroma hits you. For decades, tuna has been celebrated as a budget-friendly protein hero. But here is the truth. Behind that innocent can lies a villain that can quietly sabotage your health. The biggest danger? Mercury. Tuna, especially albacore, tends to accumulate high levels of this toxic metal. For older adults, mercury exposure can damage the brain, weaken memory, and stress the kidneys. And here is the scary part. Symptoms often go unnoticed until the harm is done. Then there is histamine poisoning. When tuna is stored poorly, histamines can build up, causing reactions that mimic a heart attack, racing pulse, chest pain, dizziness. The CDC has reported such cases more often in recent years. Add to that botulism recalls, including incidents in 2025 from major grocery chains, and suddenly that cheap can of protein does not feel so safe. Even the additives and salt are a problem. Some cans contain over 500 milligrams of sodium, plus chemical preservatives that put extra strain on aging organs. And while many brands now claim BPA-free linings, scientists warn that the replacements may not be much safer. So what are your options? Try salmon pouches, which are lower in mercury, or plant-based proteins like lentils for a heart-friendly swap. If this tuna tale unnerved you, like and share this video to warn others. And stick with me, because if ocean fare can betray you, just imagine the warmth of a soup that is anything but comforting. Think about that familiar sound, the whoosh when you pop open a can of soup. It feels comforting, almost like a hug in a bowl. But behind that cozy image lies one of the biggest health traps in the pantry. Here is the problem. A single bowl of canned soup often carries between 500 and 1,000 milligrams of sodium. For anyone trying to manage blood pressure, that is enough to blow past daily limits in just one sitting. Even the so-called reduced sodium versions can be risky because many swap in potassium chloride. According to the National Kidney Foundation, that can be dangerous for people with kidney disease, raising the risk of irregular heart rhythms. And it does not stop there. Low-acid soups, like chicken or vegetable varieties, can be breeding grounds for botulism if seals are compromised. Add in the concern over bisphenol linings, already banned in Europe, yet still common in the United States, and you have a cocktail of risks. Phosphate additives, frequently found in processed soups, also accelerate bone loss and strain the arteries, which is especially troubling for seniors. Even recalls for hidden allergens are more common than you might think, leaving vulnerable adults at risk. The safer solution? Homemade broths or carefully chosen low-sodium options where you control the ingredients. Eye-opening, right? If you want more pantry truths, subscribe now and stay tuned. Because from comforting bowls, we are heading into a spicy surprise that packs even more punches. Now imagine this. You crack open a can of chili and a wave of spicy steam rises up, promising a quick and hearty dinner. Sounds tempting, right? But that convenience hides one of the most underestimated dangers in canned foods. Here is the catch. Chili is a low-acid food, which makes it a hotspot for botulism if the seal is compromised. In fact, a major recall in 2007 linked to canned chili led to hospitalizations, according to the CDC. And the risks do not end there. A single serving of canned chili often loads you with 900 to 1,500 milligrams of sodium. That is more than half of your daily allowance in just one bowl. Reduced sodium versions may swap in potassium salts, which can trigger heart rhythm issues in older adults with kidney concerns. On top of that, phosphates are commonly added, accelerating artery calcification and weakening bones. And let's not forget the packaging itself. Bisphenol compounds used in can linings continue to spark debate. While Europe has moved to restrict them, many U.S. brands still rely on these chemicals. For aging bodies, the cumulative effect of salt, additives, and questionable linings is a ticking time bomb. So what can you do? Try homemade chili using beans, tomatoes, and fresh spices. It is just as hearty, but far healthier. If this chili chat hit home, drop a like to spread awareness. And stay with me, because from savory to sweet, you will not believe the fruity deception hiding in syrup. Picture this. You slide a spoon into a can of peaches, and out comes glossy slices bathed in thick, golden syrup. It looks innocent, maybe even refreshing. But don't be fooled. This sweet treat can be more harmful than helpful, especially as we age. Let's talk sugar first. A single cup of canned peaches in syrup can carry 35 to 45 grams of sugar. That kind of rush is not just empty calories. A study published in JAMA linked high added sugar intake to a 38% increase in the risk of death from heart disease. For older adults, that spike also worsens insulin resistance and raises the odds of type 2 diabetes. But sugar is not the only culprit. The acidic syrup can leach bisphenol chemicals from the can lining. Europe has already banned BPA in many food products, while the United States has been slower to act. And in 2024, several recalls flagged canned fruit for lead contamination. Yes, lead, a heavy metal that can impair memory and damage the kidneys. Add in artificial dyes like red number 3, which the FDA has recently banned in certain uses, and suddenly those peaches seem far less wholesome. So, what should you do instead? Choose fruit packed in water, or better yet, go for frozen peaches. You will still get the sweetness, but without the chemical cocktail. Surprised by the sweet side of danger? Hit like and tell a friend. And now, let's move on to greens that promise power, but may deliver pitfalls instead. Now, let's talk about spinach. Fresh spinach is often seen as a symbol of vitality and strength, but open a can, and what comes out is a slimy, tinny mass that is far removed from that picture of health. Here is why canned spinach can turn into trouble. First, heavy metals. Spinach naturally absorbs cadmium from the soil, and when it is canned, those levels can concentrate. The World Health Organization and European regulators warn that excess cadmium damages kidneys over time. Add in 600 to 800 milligrams of sodium per serving, and you have a salty burden that pushes blood pressure higher. But it does not stop there. Spinach is rich in oxalates, which in fresh form can be balanced with hydration. Yet in canned form, oxalates may crystallize more easily, raising the risk of painful kidney stones. On top of that, the high vitamin K content can interfere with blood thinner medications, an important warning for many seniors. And, like other low-acid vegetables, canned spinach is not immune to botulism risk if seals fail. The can lining brings further uncertainty. While some products now use BPA-free coatings, scientists caution that replacements may still disrupt hormones. So, what is the smarter swap? Frozen spinach. It locks in nutrients, skips the excess sodium, and avoids many of the risks tied to cans. Did this spinach scoop shake you? Subscribe to stay informed. And get ready, because for the #1 spot, we uncover a kid favorite that turns into a grown-up gamble. Let's face it, the moment you open a can of pasta, that tomatoey, sugary scent comes rushing out, carrying with it a wave of nostalgia. Maybe it reminds you of childhood dinners or quick lunches on busy days. But behind that comfort is one of the most processed and risky pantry items you can buy. Here's the truth. A single serving of canned pasta can hit you with 700 to 1,300 milligrams of sodium. Add in hidden sugars and phosphate additives, and you have a recipe that fuels high blood pressure, diabetes, and heart disease. For seniors, that combination is a fast track to trouble. It does not stop there. Many varieties use potassium additives as salt substitutes, which the National Kidney Foundation warns can trigger dangerous heart rhythm problems in people with kidney disease. The acidic tomato sauces are another problem. They can leach bisphenols from the can lining. Europe has tightened safety limits, but many U.S. cans still use these questionable materials. And let's not forget nitrites, used as preservatives, which the World Health Organization has classified as potential carcinogens. Even simple storage errors make things worse. Heat and time can cause chemicals to leach faster into the pasta, amplifying the risks. So what's the safer route? Fresh pasta with a simple homemade sauce. You control the salt, sugar, and quality. There you have it, the top danger revealed. Thumbs up if this changes your shopping list. Because now, it's time to flip the script and talk about the canned foods you can actually trust. Finally, some good news. Not every can in your pantry is out to get you. Take canned beans, for example. When you pop the lid, you hear that clean little snap, and inside are hearty beans that can actually be a reliable staple. Here is why. Unlike meats or low-acid vegetables, beans are pressure-cooked at high heat during canning. That process destroys harmful bacteria, making them one of the safest canned foods you can eat. The bonus? Beans are naturally packed with fiber and protein, which support heart health, stabilize blood sugar, and keep your gut running smoothly. Yes, sodium can be an issue. Some cans hold 400 to 500 milligrams per serving. But here's the trick. Rinse them under running water. Doing so can wash away up to 40% of that salt instantly. Many brands now also use BPA-NI linings, meaning no intentionally added BPA, further reducing the chemical risk. And compared to risky deli meats or cheese spreads, canned beans offer steady nutrition with far fewer downsides. Toss them into soups, salads, or quick sautés, and you have a meal that is both easy and nourishing. Relieved by this safe pick? Like this video to show support. Now let's shine the spotlight on another safe choice: canned tomatoes. Open a can, and you're greeted with that tangy burst, a flavor base that powers countless soups, sauces, and stews. Unlike many other canned foods, tomatoes actually become more beneficial through the canning process. Here is why. Tomatoes are naturally acidic, which makes them far less prone to bacterial contamination. That acidity also helps protect against botulism risks. Even better, studies show that canning boosts the bioavailability of lycopene, the antioxidant linked to lower risks of heart disease and certain cancers. In other words, canned tomatoes can sometimes give you more health benefits than fresh ones. The key is choosing wisely. Look for no salt-added versions to protect your blood pressure. If you're managing kidney concerns, avoid those with added potassium salts. And whenever possible, pick brands with BPA-free or BPA-NI linings to minimize chemical leaching. So go ahead, keep canned tomatoes in your pantry without guilt. They deliver flavor, convenience, and real health benefits all in one simple can. Now that you have seen both the dangers and the safe havens, let's wrap it all together with a quick recap and a call to action that could change the way you shop forever. So, what have we uncovered today? 7 canned foods that may look convenient but can quietly harm your heart, kidneys, and overall health. Vienna sausages, tuna, soup, chili, peaches in syrup, spinach, and pasta. And thankfully, we also discovered 2 safe standbys you can keep in your pantry with confidence: beans and tomatoes. The lesson here is simple. Not all cans are created equal. Some hide toxic linings, excess salt, or risky additives, while others offer fiber, antioxidants, and real nourishment. By making a few smart swaps, you can protect your health, feel more energetic, and enjoy peace of mind every time you open your pantry. Now it's your turn. Audit your shelves tonight and decide which cans deserve to stay. Don't risk it. Subscribe for more Senior Smart Health tips. Give this video a like if it helped you, and drop a comment below sharing the biggest surprise you learned today.